All right. And we're live. And Nicole is here. Yay. Amazing.
Hello, Satnam. Hello, everyone.
Satnam. Oh my goodness. I think this is going to work.
Yes.
So
Hello.
excited.
Welcome, everyone, to Spiritual Nerd Chats.
Yes.
Yay.
Your
We
hosts are
made
so
it.
happy to be with you.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, happy new moon in Taurus. I'm feeling all the Jupiter Taurus energy. And
Oh my God, me too.
oh, it's so good. I'm so happy.
Finally, Jupiter is in Taurus and we can really get the juices going.
I feel like we've all been waiting for this a long time, even if you're not Taurus, but we both happen to be Taurus. So we're like,
Yes.
we're
Finally. Yeah.
oh my gosh. Well,
Wonderful.
I was telling the people before you hopped on how exciting we're recording this on Zoom as well. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. So stay tuned, everyone,
Yes.
for some announcements about that. Well, I'm happy you wanted to talk today about portals. I thought that's a really interesting subject.
Yeah, I thought especially because I feel that your art is very portal-like and you're the whole everything you put out actually works as a portal. I was like, we have to speak portals at some point at least. And
Thank
so I
you.
thought it would be like really amazing to do that today, especially because you're launching these new products.
Yes, thank you. And I think it's pretty interesting. We didn't even plan it like this. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know I was gonna go live with them until yesterday because I wanted to push it. But then I was like, oh no, the planetary energies are so favorable. I have to just like make it happen. So, anyways, I'm really grateful
Yeah.
how it's all lining up. Thank you so much for that. I love the whole portal topic. A lot of it is so beyond like words, but we're here to chat, so we'll put it into words.
Yeah.
um I think I was saying on our last conversation, I think that's when we were talking a little bit about how I make this art and how I don't really feel like I can take a lot of credit in a lot of ways because I don't even understand how it happens, but it does happen through a devotional space. And I think that for me, that's the number one ingredient to making art that's not just regular art. It's art that the intention is to connect the viewer to a higher energy field, to their own higher self, and to cause a shift in their energy just by looking at it or having it around them in their home. And when I'm making it, I am looking for that shift to happen inside myself. And that's how
Mm.
I know that I've done it, is when I get that feeling inside myself, then I know it's there.
I find
So
that
yeah.
very interesting, especially because I was listening to Sadhguru. He spoke about last time about the chakras, the 114 chakras, where
Mm-hmm.
each chakra is basically a portal. So like we walk
Mm.
around with possible portals. And he said if only 20% of your chakras would actually be working and would be activated,
Oh
you'd
wow.
become superhuman. And that's so interesting because Guru Jagat was always speaking about that, being superhuman, and also like how we as humans, especially now with AI coming in and with chat GPT, and like everybody's afraid that they're losing their jobs, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that they're not fast enough, not fast enough in
Mm.
thinking, not fast enough in acting. And I feel it's very interesting that you speak about the fact that when you create the effect within yourself, like and this is so Aquarian age, isn't it? I mean,
Mm.
it's a vivid, a visceral experience that you need to
Mm-hmm.
have in order to transport something, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel that that really resonates with me deeply, because I'm a deep believer in vibrational truth, and
Mm,
that you walk around as a portal basically.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's my experience also with my, like, not my art as well, but
Mm-hmm.
also my work as a trauma therapist, as a healer, right?
Yeah,
Because I hold the vibrational truth of healing, and therefore I vibrate the possibility as a portal for people to, like, join the vibrational change, right?
I love that.
Yeah, so I um I think that's super interesting to speak about. Like, what's your experience with, like, when you travel? Like, I want to speak a bit about portals, because I have these. I when I was in Glastonbury, that was
Mm.
last year, I bought all these books. They're so fun. Like,
Oh, wow.
they're like, one book is called Portals, the Gateways, and then we
Mm.
have one, the ley lines, which are portals.
Oh, cool.
And then there is one, ancient earthwork of Wessex and portals.
Wow.
Then there is earth grids and
Oh,
portals,
wow. I wish I want
right?
to read all of those books
And then it's
also.
Glastonbury and Avalon as a portal. And I mean, I had a portal experience there. Like, that was the
Wow.
one of the best portal experiences, probably top three was Avalon.
Wow.
And then
Interesting.
there is this one, the labyrinths. And so I really I bought them in Glastonbury, and I was like, oh my God, I have to know
Mm.
everything about portals, and, like, I'm such a nerd. And what I found out was it's much easier than I thought it would be.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you how it is for you, you know.
Oh, traveling specifically with portals. That's interesting. I tend to, well, I think we might have touched on this before, but I'm like super earth person. And for whatever reason, the way I was configured in this body is to just be 100% on the earth with the colors. And really the colors is what speaks to me when
Mm.
I'm in a new location. Um, so I really can't think of any experiences ever go and this is meditating inside of the Great Pyramid, going to, really high up temples in the Sikkim Himalayas. I'm always just in the room with the the 3D in the room. And it's really not until I'm doing the art later with, especially with
Mm.
photographs that I've taken in these places, that I'm having any sort of experience of the like a more visual experience, right? So I don't know, maybe I need to do more cleansing or or maybe
Or
I don't
maybe
know,
not.
I'm pretty dense, it feels like,
No.
but
Why do you think of it like that? Maybe it's just that, like, I have the same. I am in these high holy places, and I have nothing. I'm just there.
oh,
Then when I
interesting,
get out of it, my nervous system is not capable of, like, downloading and at the same time
interesting.
perceiving. So I
Mm,
always get all my downloads, except for very few.
mhm.
I get them only in the aftermath,
Oh,
where
that's
when
so
I
interesting, you
yes,
too.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm grateful for the art process and then also to live in such a time where we have technology to capture
Oh yeah.
visual images, with the phones especially, because that's, I think as humans living in 2023, we don't take enough like of a like acknowledgement of how incredible it is and how everything's changed so fast,
Hmm.
because we didn't have the ability to capture every single 3D color beauty as easily as we do now, like at all. And so I think my art is a complete product of the times, like that I'm able to do what I do. And so that's how I process the portals. And so for example, like I went to see the flowers up a couple hours north of LA about a month ago, to this amazing place called Carrizo Plain. It was in full bloom. It was incredible. I shared about it on my Instagram a bit. But I took, tons of pictures, and I'm starting work on it'll be a flower portal, basically, design that'll go on a yoga mat from that experience. And so it's always like this co-creation with what I'm discovering in my life, and then taking it and like almost like cymatics, like I'm filtering that beauty and inspiration through my own lens and my own energy field, and hopefully always creating something that's uplifting for others. So really that's how I experience portals. I wish I had more like far out experiences sometimes, especially when all your friends are yogis and you're married to a yogi. Like my husband Jacob Paul is very much like he would never call himself a seer, but he sees, and I don't see I don't see at all. So like I'll be like, we have a joke where I'm like, I look forward to the morning sadhana report, because he'll tell me like what he sees and stuff. Because I don't see anything in sadhana. It's just me chanting in the room, like, or whatever I'm
That's
doing.
it. There
Like
you
that's
go.
all. So there's nothing much to report really. But we're all configured differently.
Love that.
And I think that's beautiful. And you have to really remember that phrase, like no compete and comparing. You really like throw yourself off, your
Yeah.
game when you compare yourself to anybody else. So
Yeah, I
so yeah.
it's very interesting. I see that a lot at the moment with people that contact me that are like very like in this negative self-talk, and like, oh, I'm not like this person, or not like you, or not as good as I
Mhm.
should be, etc., etc. And I was like, oh, like, you're fine, darling. Like, it's okay. Like, we
Yeah.
what how boring would it be if we would all be the same? And how boring would
Yeah.
it be if anything would really be better than anything else?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, for me, the like, there are certain places, like, especially, for example, Glastonbury. Everybody kept talking to me about Glastonbury. I was like, yeah, what's the fuss about that? Like, oh, these spiritual people, like, what's wrong with you guys? What is it? They're like, oh yeah, it's the heart chakra of the world, and yada yada yada, and Avalon. And I was like, what is it with Avalon? Like, who is Avalon? What is it even doing, this Avalon? And then I was there, and then I was like, I really liked the place. It was a super magical place. I've never felt as much magic anywhere as there. I
Wow.
really, really
Wow.
liked it. But then we walked up to this Thor thing, to this, there's like a hill. You
Oh
need to
yeah.
walk up the hill,
Oh
and then
yeah,
there is
yeah.
this building, like, it's a building, but it has no roof. And it's windy.
Mm,
It's like,
mm.
and you're like, oh
Uh-huh.
my God, what's going on? And then I was in this store, and I was sitting down. I was like, oh, I might just sit here in the center. And it's like blowing through. Like, the wind is like, there are two open doors. The wind is blowing through, and there's this opening on the top. And I was like,
Wow.
what is that? And then I started meditating, and I started chanting mantras, because the cool thing is, when you're wearing these strange clothes, you can do strange things. Like, nobody cares. They're like, oh yeah, she wears a turban, like, fine, it's good. Like, yeah, these people. So I was there, and then I chanted Ekamai for 31 minutes. And after, like, I would
Wow.
say maybe a third of it, I got pushed out, and then through the roof, which is not existing, of this Thor thing, I got up, and I was in Avalon. Like, that's an actual reality. Like, there's an other dimension available
Whoa.
in that's why they call it Avalon. And you can even, like, when you've been up there, like, it's a full-blown city. It's like people and things driving around, and like a very, very magical ancient city. You get goosebumps as well. Me too.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
amazing.
And so, like, that was like, and then I was chanting like Ekamai, blah, 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 blah. And then I was up there and I was like checking it out and looking, and then I was like, oh, that's what they mean with this Avalon thing. And like, ooh. And then when I got out of the meditation, you can, like, because it's on a hill, it's, by the way,
Yeah,
super annoying to walk up there because it's so
yeah,
windy, but fun.
yeah, yeah.
Then I was up there, and then you could see like very far, you could
Mm.
see the energetic veil of Avalon, like as an
Wow.
energetic portal place. So
Wow.
super fun. And there were like all these strange people there, like these
Eh,
wizards and like men with dark clothes, and then there's your waiter at the pub, and like it's like super weird but super fun. Like, I
Wow.
really like, that was like one of the best portal places experience that I ever had. Like, was really this Avalon, like when you got kicked out. And
Wow.
I think I just found the key with Ekamai. It was just like, I was lucky. Maybe
Oh,
another mantra would
that's
have
so
worked as well.
interesting.
Yeah, but it was Ekamai.
Wow. Wow.
So, and then at the after a certain time, we were like 4 or 5 people chanting Ekamai, and then the people were coming there like, what are all these strange yogis doing there? Like, and they came and they were just sitting there like chanting nothing, and there was just like, oh yeah, there are these people with the turbans doing something. It must be
Interesting.
good. Yeah. So that was really cool.
Wow.
And I had
Wow.
another portal, like when I was in January, I went to Bosnia because
Oh
there
my
are
gosh, that's
pyramids in
right.
Bosnia,
Yes. Yes.
and there are these tunnels going to the pyramids. They're not in the pyramids, but
Hmm.
they're working their way towards there. And I was like, oh, I might want to go there. And there I also chanted mantra, and boy, did I go through a portal. And there were
Wow.
like alien entities type of, like, very and it's also really interesting. There was written in the stones that they found with runes,
Wow.
the galactic portal has closed, um we are waiting for you to pick us up, and like it's like
What?
thousands of years old. Yes. And they're like, oh no, these are not proper pyramids. I'm like,
Wait,
yeah, maybe they are.
so that's written in the three in our reality here. That's
Yes,
what's
yes,
written
yes.
there.
Oh
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh yes, it's bomb. And nobody knows about that. Like when I say, oh, I was
No,
at the
no,
pyramids in Bosnia, everybody's like,
no,
what are
no.
you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of Americans, we think of Bosnia as just having to do with the war that they had, and it's
Well, it
interesting
did.
how, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, but that's sort of like it doesn't have a name for us, clueless Americans beyond that, and I
Oh,
don't know
that
if
has
that's,
nothing to do with you Americans. That's in Europe the same.
yeah, I guess just the Western mindset or whatever
Yeah.
but I mean, it's also like I've been doing some research for an upcoming project on some ancient sites in the Middle East and specifically
Oh, yeah.
Iraq. And it just like talk about a place where you immediately think of the war, but then, when you learn about all these incredibly ancient, power spots that are there,
Oh, yeah. I
and
was at,
not protected
oh,
either,
yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
war-torn land, you're just
I
like,
was at
wow.
Göbekli Tepe, which is very close to the Syrian border, but it's
Oh,
in
okay.
Turkey.
Okay, yeah.
Major, major portal place.
Wow, I
Like, and you
bet.
can, like, you can see how these things are like coming and going.
Wow.
So it's oh, look, we have like
That's so
some little
interesting.
doggos coming in as well. Timmy's like,
Showing
oh
us
yeah, I
about,
was there as well.
yeah, the animals can see the portals too, more
Oh
than the
yeah.
humans.
Timmy, Timmy actually does. He is like, when we are going, sometimes we go up to the mountains in Switzerland to chant for the rivers, for the fountain
Mm.
of the river. We
Oh,
lay the mantras in
beautiful.
there.
Oh, I love that.
And they say that in the Swiss mountains, there is a site where they have huge Pleiadian cities, like millions of Pleiadians
Oh,
living there.
wow. Really? It's
Yes.
Pleiadian?
Yes, and it's super
Oh,
strange because the entrance is through a riverbed. So when I was arriving there, I
wow.
was like, "Yeah, let's see." And then I really, it was a pool. Like, I'm speaking like strange things here. Well, good for the internet. I I was pulled up and I had to walk in the river, like in the riverbed. I had to walk
Yeah.
up there and walk up almost to the top, and I had to meditate there. And I found,
Wow.
it's really funny, I found a perfect clear quartz on the way, which
Oh my
was
goodness.
almost like a key. And I was like, oh my God, I have this amazing clear quartz that I found. And it's from the
Interesting.
Pleiadian ancient side and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, this will be my altar. Like, I will put that on my altar. I
Wow.
could bring it down. I lost it.
What? Oh my
It's almost
gosh.
like, oh no, no, you can't bring the key. No, this is
Oh,
not how
yeah,
it works.
no, you don't take it with you.
No, you don't.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. Well, I have a thing for the Swiss countryside and I definitely feel related to the Pleiadian, so that's very
Yeah.
interesting that you say
You
that.
have to come during
Wow. Oh
summer one
yeah.
day.
Oh,
We should go and
absolutely.
chant
Oh,
up there. I'm planning on
feel
that,
it.
doing that anyways here with the yogis here, with the
Oh,
Swiss
cool.
community.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
all like, oh, can we come too to chant for the rivers? I mean, why not? I was like, yeah, sure.
Amazing. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love the idea. I'm really getting into the power of water
Oh.
and the portal power of water actually is I think something we could talk about.
Mm.
But the ability to basically transform consciousness by like preying on or focusing energy on your water that you're going to
Mhm.
drink, but then also like I'm getting a deeper understanding of like the tradition of just drinking holy water, but also praying for the rivers and doing like the Native Americans have traditions around doing water healing rituals, but I could never really connect with how that could be effective before because I'm like I said, like, coming from a pretty earthbound place, but then my consciousness is starting to like open to things that are beyond our, five sense reality. And so I am very interested in that subject and maybe you could share a little bit more about
Yeah.
how your prayers go into the spring head or like the originating point of the rivers and then that downstream blesses all the water. It's beautiful.
Yeah. That's I I I did that because I traveled up there, and I knew, like, in Switzerland, in the mountains, in the Alps, they're called.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um some of the biggest European rivers have their offspring in the Swiss Alps.
Wow,
So I
wow.
was like, imagine if it would have an effect for
Hmm.
humanity or for the European people, if I would like, because I see mantra as grids. This is Chatra
Hmm.
Chakravarti. I always chanted. It's like,
I love
this is
that.
my mouse now. It's very
I
shabby, I'm sorry,
love
but
that.
just as an idea. So because I chant mantra, but I also see the grid.
Hmm.
So what I do is I plant the grid into the land
Wow,
while
wow.
chanting the mantra. And I planted into the riverbed in the very top part where, like, not many humans come. So
Mm.
the water, because I know about the work of Masaru Emoto,
Mhm.
the Japanese professor, which works a lot with water.
Mm.
And so so I go up there and then I just plant the mantra. So what I always do is I chant a call, because
Mm,
very often there is a lot of souls hanging
mm,
around these fountains.
mm,
Interesting
mm-hmm.
enough, I have the
Yep,
feeling. So
yep.
I first like cleanse the spot with a call. And then what I do is I always do the protection mantra, the Adgure Name,
Mm,
just to protect the space
mm-hmm,
also, um,
mm-hmm,
and to protect the energies in the space. And then I always do Ekamai. I feel
mm,
it's super important as well for the water.
mm.
Um, I always chant Adi Shakti as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Very like these great female energies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what else? I think that's no, is that it? Probably it's not it, but
That sounds pretty next level and inspiring. I mean, imagine if that caught on as like a something that people did, more. We could really transform consciousness ourselves, and then everything, proverbially and literally downstream.
and what's
That's
really cool
awesome.
about that as well is like I heard that before, but I did yesterday. I participated in a meditation for the Thrangu Rinpoche,
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
we chanted for him Guru Guru Wahi Guru Guru Ramdas Guru for 31
Mm,
minutes. And I
beautiful.
had such like, I traveled to him and like deep
Woo!
insights. But
Wow.
what Mandev said before we
Mm,
started chanting for him
mm-hmm,
was, she said, the beautiful thing about you chanting for someone or something else is you get for sure 6% of the prayer energy, you receive it. Whether sometimes it's possible that when you have a subconscious block about
mm-hmm,
receiving certain prayers,
mm-hmm,
um, then it's then it's not sure that you get the prayer when you pray for yourself. So the praying for someone or something, like putting out like your devotional
mm-hmm,
prayer for the highest good of all, and then
mm-hmm.
chanting for that rewards you with certain things.
Absolutely.
So I thought that's pretty interesting, like especially when thinking of like praying for water, praying for
Mm-hmm,
cities, praying for like,
mm-hmm.
I guess,
Totally.
yeah, in LA you could go up the hill and then chant mantras
Yeah.
there for the people. I
Yeah,
mean,
totally. Totally. Yeah, there's actually the watershed for Los Angeles is the Owens River Valley. And we go up there. We actually have land up there. That's not something I've ever really talked about publicly at all, but one of the intentions for that land was to pray for the water for Los Angeles, because it's coming from up there. And I think before I was introduced to that area, I had no idea where the water came from that came out of our tap.
yeah.
And I lived here 18 years or something. I don't. So, and I feel like I'm on a consciousness path, but it's so humbling when when you learn, and then you learn that you don't know anything yet at all. That happens to me every day. I'm just like, wow, how could I be so clueless? But we're all here at the exact right, perfect point in the cosmos, I think.
I think your beginner's mind really is like the best thing of like one of the most highlightful things about you. You
Oh, thank
know,
you so much. Thank
I
you.
think it's the most spiritual. Oh, so now Mandev is
We
with
were
us
just
as well.
talking about you, on Dave.
Yes.
I
That's
love
so
that.
good. Oh,
That's so
beautiful.
good.
Yeah, I think you know, I the highest spiritual teachers always have this beginner's mind. They are so non-judgmental. They don't
Mm,
think that they know. They don't think that they already figured everything out, and that's why they're so loving. And I think
mm,
that's what makes you so loving and so
thank you.
so
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mandev, you're the best. We were just
Oh
talking
yeah.
about tell her about the prayer that your experience yesterday. I think that's very profound.
I when you Mandev was leading yesterday, when you were leading the Guru Guru Wahi Guru Guru Ramdas meditation, and you said this sentence before. You said, um, when you pray for someone, you're able to receive like 6% of the prayer for sure, but it's possible that you have subconscious blocks. So when you only pray for yourself, it's possible that you get nothing. So it's always good to pray for someone. And I really loved that about it. And we were praying, and I had this, like, the space Mandev was holding in this meditation was beyond, like, it was so high. And it's so interesting about portals. When I was younger, I was maybe like, I would say 33, 34, something like that. And I just started like clearing my past lives. And like the one of the past lives, I was like sitting in space on a planet with monks, female monks dressed in white. And
Mm.
they were standing there, and I was like a type of Buddha, and I was supposed to chant. And my chanting was, the sound was creating threads of rainbow color. But
Mm.
the I couldn't chant anymore because something invaded my crown chakra. And yesterday
Oh,
in the meditation, I traveled so far, and I saw that with Rinpoche, I was looking for something dark there. I saw something dark, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of that past life. And so, like, in the meditation, all of a sudden, like, everything came down to one point, like over the time from now to with the Rinpoche. And then I got like all these downloads from Tibet, from the
what?
Rinpoche, and
Oh
it
my
was like,
goodness.
but I haven't really processed it. But like
Wow.
portals can also, like, in meditation, when a teacher like Mandev, which is like, I bow my head, when a teacher, a high teacher, holds space for you, you are able to go in certain places that you're never able, like,
Mm.
otherwise. And that also, how you said it before, the intention setting is so key. Because
Mm.
I'm doing quantum healing, so I was asking Rinpoche if I could get the pneumonia out of his lungs, if I would be able to do that. And he smiled, and he agreed that I could do that. So I did the work first, and then everything started going off. It was
Wow.
so, but you can only do that over such a far space, far
Mm.
miles, so many miles,
Mhm.
when someone holds a safe space, so you're not getting like lost somewhere. And that
Wow.
incarnation where I was the Buddha with the uh something in my crown chakra, I couldn't chant anymore, and then I released that past life from my physical body, and then the Buddha could chant again, and then the rainbow threads were coming out, and then these women monks would use the threads to build a rainbow structure around the galaxy,
Wow.
where planet Earth is also in. And so it was a certain type of protection structure that is then rebuilt again. And we did the rainbow meditation and it also had to do with Milarepa and the rainbow body Rinpoche and all of that. It was like,
Mm. Wow.
so space holding.
That's really inspiring. And what you said about like the protection of the teacher in the
Oh,
space is so, that's really profound, and it sort of illuminates things for me. And wow, that's really inspiring. Thank you for sharing that
yeah.
story. That's something I want to like collage and make what you described. Like
Oh,
that's how I
yeah.
would process the meditation, is trying to
I
create it
wish I
in
could.
art.
I wish I would be so creative like you. Like, I wish that would be my tool, because sometimes I'm like, oh, if I could just show to people what I
I
saw.
I think you do it well, I mean, in a way with your mantra portal. art. I mean,
Yeah.
that it's very mathematical, what you do. So it's a different style, but yeah, you're certainly sharing it in the artistic realm.
True. And
You're also,
we're still on with a project until the end of May. I will get the go or no go for the mantra art to be at a light festival here in Lucerne, the city of light.
I love
And
that. That's amazing.
I'm like, oh, the Ramdas Guru, please help me. Because
Yes,
it would be
yes,
amazing for people. Imagine where like
absolutely.
100,000 of people would go to this light festival and see mantra and hear Guruja sing and Hari Jivan play the gong.
Oh, next level. Okay, I'll keep that in my projection.
Oh yeah, me
Wow.
too. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, this is so cool that I'm inspired to learn more about what this
Yeah.
Rinpoche and the nunnery and all of that. I think that's very interesting, your vision in relation to his life's work too. Like Mandev was saying, that's really
Yes.
beautiful. Very cool.
It makes so much sense.
Well, are there other portal subjects? Maybe someone has a question or
Yeah.
anything. I could actually share a little portal on one of my
New
new designs.
products. Yes.
This is
Oh.
this
Oh.
design was inspired by an experience that we all sort of had, but Jago Paul and I were visiting Remington and Gina, and I'll show the Zoom too.
Amazing.
We're visiting Remington and Gina in January in frozen Vermont. It was actually -20 when we were there
Oh wow.
with them, and Jago Paul's mom had just passed on January 8th, and so we were still very much in that deep mourning time, and he had a dream of a white snowy owl in their yard, like in the tree, and it was really profound, and it was connected to his mother. And then I looked up the symbolism of the snowy owl, and it was really very spot on messaging for us. And then a couple of days after we left, Remington texts Jago Paul like this photos and videos of the snowy owl in his yard.
No
And
way.
so oh, bye Monday. Thank you so much for
Bye,
coming.
Mandev. Maybe you come and hop on to our
Spiritual
spiritual
nerd
nerd
talk.
talk one
Yeah,
day.
we'll
We
have
would
to
love
invite
to
her.
have
That
you
would
as
be
a guest.
amazing. That would be so great. So yeah, so anyway, this is the portal, by the way,
Oh
of
wow.
this design. So anyways, I was so inspired by this, how that unfolded. And so as I was creating the new collection, I just had to do something with the snowy owl. So anyways, that's the story of how this came about. And I'm so excited. I have not done an 11/11 collection in probably like 4 years or something, because I've been so wrapped up in the yoga mats for Star Water Yoga. And I am feeling so ecstatic right now because I literally for 6 years have been wanting to bring both of these brands together into one
Yeah.
website, because I really bit off a very challenging thing to have two brands on two websites for such a small, we're like a little tiny mom and pop shop here, so it was way too much for me and my nervous system. So anyways, to bring it into one, I just feel like I'm streamlining but also able to do a lot more. So I am so excited to share the new things that are coming in the next couple weeks. Like I'm finally going to be putting bags out, and then clothing
Oh,
is
the
coming.
tote
And
bags.
well, I can show you. Well, yeah,
Oh
those
yeah, I want
tote
to
bags,
see
I wish
them.
I had
Bring
those
it
next to
on.
me. But I've got some other stuff like bags like I'm really
I wanna
excited.
buy one. Oh my god, it's so
And
good.
then I've
Oh,
got
Jamila.
like these
Wallets.
leather wallets with my
Beautiful.
design. This is a design called Realm of Venus, which I designed a couple years ago, but this has been my prosperity design. Like I had this on my screensaver for like years, because I was like, this is basically me with the abundance of the universe. And so
I love
anyways, that's
that.
why I feel like it's appropriate for a wallet.
It's
So
very
anyways, that's just
appropriate.
a little a little teaser for what I'm so excited about. And yeah, so anyways, thanks for letting me share a little bit about the
Of course.
portals in the art, because the snowy owl is definitely the most portally one, but these designs are not yoga mats, so they're designed a little different. They're not so intense as designing the yoga mats, but I am excited about the flower mandala one coming along.
With the
Which
yellow
really,
wildflowers.
yeah, that was such a high vibration experience, and the flowers have been such like friends for me and teachers, and so um I'm excited to work with them more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's so interesting that you say that, because there are these people that are synesthesia. They have synesthesia. It's like a diagnosis. And they, for example, when they see the letter A,
Yes.
it has a
Mm-hmm.
color. Or when they see a color, it has a
Mm-hmm.
number or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And
Mm-hmm.
what I feel is really interesting is that at the moment, I feel that the availability of more information to something
Mm.
with connected with color is
Mm.
very given. I also see that often with my clients when we work away trauma, for example, and there's a certain pain palpable
Mm.
somewhere on the body, and I
Mm-hmm.
ask, well, does this pain have a color? It very often vibrates a certain color. And what I feel is so interesting, because a color has like a certain kind of wavelength, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the wavelength itself is, of course, also a type of, it's not directly a portal, as I would say, um, uh, uh, as I could perceive something else as a portal. But what it for sure is, it holds a certain space. That's why,
Mm.
for example, the Buddhist monk, they wear ochre, or this yellow, and the yellow is for the
Mm.
Agna chakra, the third
Mm.
eye, and the third eye, the enlightened Buddha is Shakyamuni Buddha with the yellow as well, and so
Wow.
all these colors have,
Yes.
because of the vibration of the colors, our chakra vibrates in the wavelength
Oh,
of the color as well, right?
yes. Yes,
So I
totally.
I find that so interesting when you said in the beginning, like, oh, my portal is actually color. I was like, oh, that
Mm.
makes so much sense.
Mm.
um Coming back to Sadhguru, he said, like, oh, uh, a white is for a certain type of the people that have a certain type of sadhana, they wear white a
Mm.
lot.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I feel very comfortable in white. I have to
Mhm.
read, like, I used to wear a lot of black when I was in business, like in corporate and all of that,
Mhm.
but I feel so comfortable wearing white because I'm so sensitive. And I never
Mm.
understood that the color black actually absorbs energy and has an
Mm.
absorbing vibration,
Oh
where the
yeah, that
color
makes sense.
white has a reflecting vibration.
That's such a
So,
good explanation. Thank you.
oh,
Yeah.
you're
Go
welcome.
on, go on.
Yes, and it's so and then the color, and I was like, okay, but why are the monks then wearing the red? Because red, like in the Western type of explanation of chakra teachings, it's like,
Mm.
oh, it's the root chakra. And I was like, that makes no sense. I mean,
Mm.
why would they be like some of the highest incarnated souls on planet right now? Why would they
Mm.
wear first chakra color? And then I learned that it's not first chakra, because it's actually the third eye, which is it's in India they call it agna. It's like, I cannot pronounce it
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm not Indian, but, and that it's actually this yellowy ochre tone, and that's
Mm.
why they wear that.
That
And
makes so much sense.
doesn't it? And
Yes.
then I was like, okay, but why did they start to teach the chakras as basically a rainbow in the
Mm,
Western society,
mm.
when that's absolutely not true.
Interesting. Well, wait, so the chakras aren't a rainbow. The colors are different.
Well,
Is that what
no,
you're
yeah,
saying?
no, it's like red, orange, yellow for the first
Mm-hmm.
three, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
green, blue, purple,
Mm-hmm.
um, indigo.
Indigo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what they say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently that's only one way to perceive it. And I mean,
Oh.
it's not science,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
right?
there's different levels of perception too. Like
As
maybe
well.
in this certain dimension it is a color, but then in another frequency it flips or is an octave a
Yes.
different color or whatever.
Yes.
Wow, this is really interesting. It ties into this. I was just on a Zoom call with like one of my heroes like an hour ago. I don't know if you follow her. Her name is Isabel Friend. She's on Instagram, and she teaches about water and the consciousness of water.
Oh,
And
wow.
she did a podcast with our friend Alec, who has a podcast called The Way Forward, and he did a deep dive with her on the consciousness of water. And I mean, I've shared about it on my Instagram a couple times because it was so impactful for me, everything that she said, that I had to listen to it like many times, like at slower speed, because she's like unpacking so much. But anyways, on this Zoom call, I got to ask her a question, which I get like really shy around people that I like, have admiration for. So I could barely like talk. I wanted to just type the question, but whatever. I did get on there and say how much her work had helped me. And anyways, um I was asking about the structure of water, like when infuse, lemon or something into the water. And she had a really interesting answer to that. But she was talking about the the practice of healing with water that's just been infused in with specific color frequencies, and she had a
Mm-hmm.
specific name for it. You probably know about this. And I had maybe heard of it in passing before, but I never really considered it. And we drink water out of this color glass, which I think I just was intuitively drawn to this. And I know blue glass is like a thing where you put your water in like blue bottles and stuff. But it's just she was going into the different like frequency um differences between the different colors, and different colors healing different problems. And this is just such a vast topic, and it makes me so excited to speak about it, even though I don't feel that I can actually explain anything very well. I feel like if we can just plant seeds in the consciousness for them, people to go looking into things more on their own, because this is the new earth, and that is something I'm very interested in speaking about it. And maybe we could do a whole episode on the new earth consciousness. But
Oh, yes, let's do
new
it.
earth consciousness is here now, and it's you can choose to you know explore it and live it, or not. But it's a free will planet. So anyways, that's just my share on this synchronous topic of the color. And thank you for reflecting back to me what I had said about accessing the portal through color, because that really is how it works for me, and it's how it works for when I'm making the art. Like I'm completely pulling images by the color, and then going from there. So anyways, thank you.
I love that.
What
Okay,
was her
thank
name
you.
again? Oh, the lady's name is Isabel Friend, and she has I think her website is called waterislife.shop. And I'll post about her in my Instagram stories today.
Why
So
don't
if
you
you
put
can't
her link on underneath
on the
the
chat,
Insta
yeah,
on the
yeah,
no,
okay,
no,
great.
in the
Oh,
live,
okay. In
when
the
we
live,
end the
perfect,
live,
that I
pin
mentioned her.
right there. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you can't find her, just check our stories. I will definitely shout her out there, because if you're interested at all in this water consciousness topic, I highly recommend you go finding the episode on the Way Forward podcast, which I'll also link as well. So,
Amazing.
yay. Cool.
Well done. I think we made
Fun.
it for today.
Yes, I think we made it.
Someone have questions about portals? Maybe we can say something about it, but I don't think so, but maybe we can. We'll see.
You could also write us. We're going to be doing more of these, and we can answer questions in our next episode.
In our next episode, we will have a guest.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Yay.
Oh, me too.
Cool.
We get so much better at this.
Yeah,
one
getting
day
better every day.
Imagine one day we will have like a super fancy podcast.
Yeah,
spiritual nerd talk.
Totally.
So funny.
This is just the beginning.
It's us and 5 people listening.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. It was such a pleasure having you all. Thanks through time and space. May this be shared, and let's hope it brings a lot of healing and a lot of peace for you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thanks. Bye. Satnam. Bye.